right. Hi, everybody. David Fogel back with you, CEO of the Symphonina Foundation, back with another Symphonina Foundation podcast as we get ready for the Grammy first round voting starting, what is it, next week, I guess? Or maybe at the end of next week. It's sneaking up on us. And today I'm joined by, now this is a long intro, Anne. I'm joined by a composer, violinist, pianist, singer-songwriter, conductor, guitarist, music educator, and artist, An Vedi. Anne, how are you?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me, David. It's a pleasure to be on your podcast. I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good. And not just that, but you're really excellent at all those things, which is, there's rare people who are really excellent at many, many things, but all great. So let's go straight to your Boston Rhapsody before we come back to figuring out how you got to be so good at all these things. Boston Rhapsody this year is submitted for Grammy consideration, and it's a very interesting violin solo piece with multiple composers. Can you tell us a little bit about how that came to be?
Well, I've been a member of Boston New Music Initiative for a few years in a row, and we had online meetings. I presented some of my music. I listened to others' music, but this year, I guess it was January or February, we just had a conversation with a few of them, and we decided, why don't we do something like Fei Sonata
Okay.
back centuries ago, but in a short version.
Yes.
Well, it worked. One of them, his name is Bill Taylor, he started to write music, but then he forwarded just the last bar of what he did to me, and I had to, analyze what he did in this bar to extract some melodic, some
My
harmony,
goodness.
some chords to continue to my next section.
Hmm.
And I sent just the same, the last bar of my section to the next composer, which is Melika Ampedjo.
Hmm.
Then it's repeated a few times in composers involved are Deborah Yardley Beers, Sam Cohen, and Chris Kolakowski. And finally, Chris sent his all part to Bill, who did the full score. Yes, and we received it. Then I had a studio time and recorded Boston Rhapsody. We made a presentation. It was like middle of spring, and we decided because I'm the only member of Grammy Academy, one of them, and I just asked, don't you mind if I submit to Grammys?
Yeah.
This is where
Yeah. Well,
we're
it's
very excited. Yeah, really.
it's amazing you can think about writing a piece like that. As I was saying to you before we got started, it reminds me of my son who had a class called Written Out Loud, and they would write a book, but they would write it in chapters where each person in the Written Out Loud group would write their chapter and then hand it off to the next person. But I believe they got to read what had come before, so they could decide where the story was going, fully aware of what the story had been. But in your case, it doesn't seem like that was true. You didn't get to know where the story was. You just got to know where it ended and pick it up
Yes,
and take it wherever you want to take it.
yes, it was quite challenging. This was my first experience in this genre. I just try to make a lot of violin techniques, put a lot of techniques in my 10 bars,
Yeah.
because I know the composer is not so familiar with violin, so they really put more intellectual thing, more melodic things,
Hmm.
and I had to do my chapter like
Okay. Well, that's artistry too. So
yeah.
fair enough. And how did you get started in music, and then how did you decide to branch out in all these different areas?
Well, it all came gradually, actually, because I started it for as a violinist.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I'm lying.
Okay.
Because first of all, I had to have an audition as a singer because this was a choir school,
Okay.
choral school. Yes, and I prepared a few songs to sing,
Okay.
and
And you were four.
yes,
Wow.
yes,
Okay.
I was 4 years old,
Pressure's
and
on early there.
Yeah. And I sang a quite difficult song for my age,
Yeah.
and I got in. Then I had an audition at the violin class, and the teacher just asked me to do some things like checking out my ears. What do I hear? Am I right or incorrect?
Okay.
And she said, it's okay. She can get on violin because I said her I want to play violin because I heard the violin on the radio.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah, that's funny. At 7, I joined the Central Musical School. It was a school at the conservatory, like early stage to get into conservatory because professors from conservatory had students from this school, and it was quite hard competition because we have a lot of talents here, and not everyone can be entered.
yep.
And I got in
Good.
again, and I started then on piano
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved this instrument, and I tried to get pianist repertoire, not just like pieces for string players or singers. I just took it seriously.
Yeah.
Well, when I graduated from this school, it was also a college chapter.
Okay.
I was like 18,
Mm-hmm.
and I got into conservatory. I started took professionally lessons on composition with the dean of composers faculty, my lovely teacher
Yeah.
Alexander Podlakov. He we had a huge experience, me and his, because he taught me to know the scores of Penderecki, Kubaidullina, which I didn't know before,
Mm-hmm.
and it was quite a few months till I started to write pieces in those styles, and it was really catching because I started to win competitions as a composer already. But I didn't give up on violin yet. I played Paganini,
Yeah.
Tchaikovsky at the same time, a lot of concerts. Then I graduated from the conservatory and got into the postgraduate studying at the contemporary music faculty. This is the only faculty of this kind in our country, especially to learn as a performer, sometimes like as a composer, and even as a conductor. We conducted some ensembles.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we played, sometimes we conduct, and it was
Okay.
quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, like a parallel life, I started to write songs,
Mm-hmm.
to search for my style because I really liked some pop music, certain kind of. I really liked certain kind of rock music, jazz music,
Okay.
but I'm not the person who tries, to be on mainstream, like to be really, really cool in this. I just wanted to embrace the
Well, it's okay
genres.
if you were, though. It'd be fine.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know. You know.
totally.
Yeah.
This is weird and strange and weird, but a few years passed, and I started to really to know what I'm going to. And at this time, I'm doing a lot of things, like you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
and conducting came to my life a few years ago.
Okay.
And at this time, I'm already working with quite a few orchestras here, and I'm going to have a few programs this
Yeah.
season. Yes, and the it was for me it was a very very special performance the last season when I conducted Shostakovich cello concerto with
Oh.
the soloist. His
Mm-hmm.
name is Mark Drobinski, who you can Google him. He performed with Marta Argerich, with other great musicians, and especially it was very serious. I took it seriously because many years, many decades actually
Mm-hmm.
ago,
Yeah.
he performed this concerto under Shostakovich's son
Hmm.
conducting.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. All right.
I think
And,
we had a great
yeah,
time.
yeah. And I have a question for you. So there's no comparison between the things that all those things you're doing and the things that I do. But let me ask about something that I feel. as a multi-instrumentalist and somebody who has multiple things going on. I'm a composer. I'm not a violinist, thank goodness. I am a pianist. I'm a saxophone player. I do play guitar. I try to be a music educator. I'm definitely not an artist. My daughter's the artist. But I can tell you, as we go through those things, there are days when I feel like I'm not able to do as well at any of them as I would like to do because I'm keeping all the other things alive that I'm doing. Like, so if I'm going to the piano to practice, even if I have 10 minutes, I'll pull out the Hanon book, and go start at number one and see how far I can get in 10 minutes at 80 beats a minute or something like that. Or if I have 10 minutes, I might pick up the saxophone and play Yardbird Suite, Charlie Parker tune, or whatever I might do. Practice pentatonics on the guitar, going through different positions. It's all fine. But the thing is, like, you figure if you just didn't do all those things, if you did one of those things or two of those things, maybe you'd be really much better at that one or two thing. Do you ever have lament that you didn't pursue any one of these things? Are you happy that you have so many diverse interests that it's actually the diversity is the thing, which is what it is for me, I would say.
Well, I think the steps of life of every musician, every artist are very unique because we are all different. We have different obstacles.
Yep.
We have different cultures, I mean, domestic cultures. And sometimes things that one culture appreciate, another culture don't appreciate. For me, it was challenging because I am a female person.
Yep.
This might sound weird, but sometimes still I got this things like, okay, you don't want to be taken seriously because you're a female person.
Hmm.
You will have something different in your
Okay.
life.
All right.
And it was challenging.
Yeah.
I with myself. I just tried to not to do my best, but to deep more into the topic. I learn because what you mentioned, violin, piano, etc. This is just like sounds like one topic, one specialization, but actually, for my young age, I studied a lot. I studied up to 20 hours per day. I almost
I
had
believe
no
it.
sleep.
I
Yeah,
believe it. Yep.
yes, and I really loved theoretical subjects like theorem, music, harmony, and etc.
Yeah.
And I actually at those subjects I was the top of my class. I graduated the top of my class in
Hmm.
college and conservatory, but that was not the point. The point was to embrace
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Yeah,
think you
you
think,
understand?
yeah, I do. And you seem to embrace everything that comes to you, whether it in music or art, I suppose. You're up for producer of the year classical, and you've been a producer on the Russian piano album and Waltz for Love and also Boston Rhapsody. Can you tell us a little bit about Russian piano and also Waltz for Love?
So what about the album?
Mhm.
It was like actually I recorded it in more than an hour session.
Okay.
I didn't rewrite it. It was like an improvisation, but something just caught me.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and it was like I need to do this.
Hmm.
Well, I decided to release this or not to release because actually recorded this on my upright piano and it's not like a studio, fully studio quality piano, but this is the instrument I grew up with.
Okay.
Yes, and he's with me for 3 decades. And I finally decided, why not?
Yeah.
Because in AI era where everything is looks like plastic,
Hmm.
why we not interrupt with our life
Yep.
into music?
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
I really love studio sessions because it was kind of concentration of all kind. But when you play the instrument, you're with a lot of decades. It's
Yeah.
something different. This is not an ideal instrument, and you now have different keys, might sound and you might to upright something or knock it down. So there were not so much editing, but mostly it was like a stream of my conscious or
Yeah.
unconscious.
Yeah. Or
Yes.
unconscious. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
The theme is about Waltz of Love. I just had a few rehearsals before and something clicked. As I mentioned, I have 10, 15, 12 minutes to do something I didn't do for a few days.
Hmm.
And I just sat down and started to write lyrics. And then the melody came in.
Yeah.
That is, yeah,
There
this.
it is. And what do you have working on now for next year or even the rest of this year?
Yes, I actually have a few big projects, not for Grammys, for orchestra and choir, but actually I did a lot of collabs this year for Grammys, but they were just postponed to the next season due to some obstacles. And I think I might announce soon, though.
Okay.
Okay,
We'll be ready.
yeah.
We'll be ready. And your Boston Rhapsody is up for contemporary classical composition and also classical instrumental solo. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
Well, they can just go to my website, anvedi.org, or find me in socials. I have a lot of DMs actually this season,
I
but
bet you do.
I'm paying attention to all of them because that's my duty as a voting member. Especially as an indie musician, I feel I need to support as much as I can indie musicians in different genres, since the good music lays in all genres.
Thank you, Anne. And we're going to listen to some more of your great playing on the way out here. And if there's anything we can do at the Symphonina Foundation to be of help to you, you just let us know.
Thank you for inviting me, David.